I'm Eoin McQuone of Go Climate Positive. Today I'm talking to Chris Pearson of MMD, a manufacturer of green mining solutions in locations all around the world, about how MMD have started their net zero journey. Hi Chris, can you tell us a bit about what MMD does and why sustainability is important to the company?
Hi Ian, thank you. Just a little bit about MMD. We are world leaders in design and manufacture of sizing and conveyor equipment. Our founders, Anne and Alan Potts, were both passionate about green mining solutions. We were first established in 1978. We just operated a small office and workshop based in Somercotes in Derbyshire. And we have now had 47 successful years of providing innovative solutions. So we've grown to a global presence. We've now got 22 offices, 5 manufacturing plants, and we're now quite a complex international business and very different to where we originally started. But it's important for us to focus on sustainability and lead towards net zero.
That's fantastic, Chris. So why did MMD choose to set out on a journey to net zero?
So MMD have always been on a sustainable journey. Alan actually looked to develop a battery electric truck for underground mining back in the 80s. It was always a visionary and probably a little bit too early for adoption. So we've always been focused on green mining solutions, and all our equipment is already electrified anyway. Over the years, we've improved as technologies to reduce as carbon footprint, but never really baselined ourselves to understand the carbon emissions. So you can really only set the targets once you know where you're starting from, and this is why we engage with Go Climate Positive to help us through that process. And as a responsible OEM, supplying equipment into mining and quarrying sector, we actually feed into our customers' scope 3. So it was important for us and our customers to really know that we share the same responsibilities and the journey to net zero and leading by example.
Great. So as you set out on that journey, what were the main things you wanted to achieve?
So it was important for us to get a good understanding of each of the business units, where they stood in regards to their own emissions and how that fed into a group of companies' consolidated figure for reporting. We were looking for accurate and reliable figures that we could publish and be proud of, but we didn't know how to go about the process, where to start considering the size and the complexity of the business. And this is where Go Climate Positive really helped us to identify what we wanted to achieve from the exercise and how to go about it. And it's important for each of these officers to be stakeholders in the process to make good and meaningful contributions towards their own improvements and targets of the group of companies.
So it's quite a complex business really, isn't it? So what challenges did you face along the way and how did Go Climate Positive help you to face them?
So there have been a couple of challenges along the way. These have come at different stages of the process. As I've just mentioned, the first challenge was really to understand the requirements and the process. We knew what we were wanting to achieve, but we weren't quite sure how to go about it. And this is really where Go Climate Positive took the time to listen and understand our business, and that gave us the confidence to begin the process. Go Climate Positive helped engage with all our officers, helped set out what we were looking to achieve from the process. You develop the questionnaire for all the officers and the manufacturing plants, and that's the tailoring of the solution really helped MMD. And the second challenge really was when we'd got everybody on board, it was maintaining that engagement, maintaining the momentum. Just because you've done it once, it doesn't mean you've finished. It's a year-on-year process to really see those improvements and sort of steps towards the end goal.
Yeah, if I may say, it's been fascinating for us as well to engage with so many different teams, different parts of the world, different languages, different cultures, different ways of working, and learning about the complexity of the business has been a really interesting challenge for us as well. So what do you think about the outcome of that work so far?
So I think we've done a huge amount of work in a short time. First, to set the process up. Secondly, to engage with all the officers, get those officers familiar with the questionnaire and complete the questionnaire. There were times when some of the officers needed more assistance to guide themselves through the process and uploading and things like that. But importantly, we've achieved that first milestone, establishing that baseline and setting our net zero targets. Some of our officers have now set their own green committees up, looking at local initiatives. Officers are encouraged, they feel more like they're contributing to that bigger picture, and they're now taking ownership of their own process, which is great to see. We're also bringing along our ESG commitments for local initiatives to help local communities in the regions where we're operating. So in all, I think we're doing really well. Now, having started the process and having that exposure, we see more opportunities within MMD to improve our methods of data capture. And I think this is where many companies are in a similar position where we really started a couple of years ago, not knowing how to go about that journey. One thing I would recommend is starting that sooner rather than later, because as a company, you need to achieve that baseline, because if you don't measure yourself from a point, you'll not be able to measure those year-on-year improvements.
Yeah, I think our local ownership is critical actually, and I think I'm really pleased that that's one of the outcomes that you wanted, because I think that will really help drive the ongoing journey to net zero. It become much more meaningful and much more possible, I think, with that local ownership. So yeah, I think that's a really good approach. So what was it like working with Go Climate Positive as your carbon reduction partner?
So we really appreciate all the hard work that Go Climate Positive have done. You guys really did guide us through the process, taking what seemed a very daunting exercise, breaking it down, making it a simpler process, giving us the confidence and helping maintain that momentum in the process, engaging all the officers, and appreciate obviously you guys jumping on the calls late at night and early in the morning, answering the questions. Go Climate Positive have worked around our business. We now have a net zero process with structure, and we're carrying out annual carbon audits, looking towards our short, medium and long-term goals. So yeah, it's been enjoyable working with Go Climate Positive, and look forward to continuing that relationship.
Oh, thanks, Chris. That's very kind of you to say so. And we really enjoy working with MMD and the different teams as well. So it's been great. So how would you reflect on the progress made so far?
Yeah, so I'm really happy with the progress made so far. We've captured 2023's results. We've reported that and achieved the baseline results. Now all the local officers and manufacturing know how they're performing and how that feeds into the consolidated figures. We've also embedded sustainability into our annual group sales conference, where we set out reviews, set year-on-year targets, discuss the progress, then also have knowledge shares and consider initiatives that officers are implementing. And it's also an opportunity to discuss community engagement as part of our ESG commitment.
Okay, so you've come a long way in a short period of time, but of course there's still a long way to go. So what's next for MMD in its net zero journey?
So there's three main areas that we've been focusing on. The first being technology. MMD has always been a great innovator. We're very much technology focused, always striving to improve on energy efficiency in support of our green mining solutions. We're seeing a movement in technology adoption. That's helping us and end users offer more efficient and effective mining systems to help their operations. There's more companies coming to us are looking to recycle. We're seeing more companies doing urban recycling to process demolition waste, concrete and general waste and recyclables. And then we've got the facilities and operations. So not all of our facilities have solar. Those that don't, we are looking to install solar. We've been changing all the lighting to more energy efficient lighting, and then already most of our company vehicles are now all electric also. So we've been making good improvements there. And I suppose then finally in the community, it's really important to bring that community along on this sustainability journey through local initiatives. I suppose one example of that is tree planting sessions. Some of our organisations, US, India, China and us on the Isle of Man have been doing that for the last few years. And other various initiatives to support local communities. One example of that is a couple of years back, MMD replaced the Graddle Glen water wheel that had come into disrepair. For those that are not familiar, it's a lovely glen on Ireland. The wheel turned by water passing over a sluice into a wheel, and there's a great opportunity there to capture that green energy source and possibly power light in the glen. So as you can appreciate, we've been working on lots of different areas of the business.
Thanks, Chris. So can I ask for you personally, why is reaching net zero important, not just for MMD, but for the wider industry and society too?
So I've worked for MMD for 26 years now and been personally involved in a lot of the R&D to develop the new technologies and solutions that can make a difference. Our industry, the mining and quarrying sector, has had a really bad reputation for many years now. But saying that, I've seen a big change over the last 10-15 years firsthand in the adoption of new technologies. Mining companies are also looking to divest from fossil fuels. They're investing more in sustainable crop nutrients like phosphates and polyhalites. And the adoption of these technologies and a different approach in general, and mining smarter, is really helping our customers and communities achieve their goals. And for me, being part of that journey, driving that change and influencing the future is really exciting and rewarding. And yeah, I think the founders, Alan and Ann Potts, would be proud of what the company has achieved and our journey towards net zero. Fantastic.
Well, it's been great talking to you today, Chris, and thank you for sharing your perspectives on your net zero journey and working with Go Climate Positive. And I'm looking forward to taking the next steps of the journey with MMD.
Thank you, Ian.